not being seen over a lot of crap.
Hey, it's Gary Vee. You're on the Ask Gary Vee show with Ryan Holiday.
What's up, Ryan? What's up, Gary? How's it going?
Hey.
Doing well, man. Who's this?
Doing well. This is Kylan DeYoung over in Los Angeles. I was over at the Shoe Palace thing in Melrose, actually.
That's awesome, Kylan. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming out. What's your question?
My question is, if you're still developing a business, like in the sense of, because I work full-time at a marketing agency, which I love, have a lot of fun here. I think we're actually going to do some partnerships with VaynerMedia. Some of us have some meetings over there, but on the side, I've been building a tech company to help small businesses save money. Been building a personal brand for creating content. Kind of no exact direction on what type of business. Like, I don't know what it is I want to go 100% in on. What it is that's going to be like the main focus. So how do you, during that time, do you still build like a personal brand? Like should I have a vlog? I know you talk a lot about making a vlog. I know you guys talk a lot about building up your own content. Is that something that I should be doing even though I don't know what's the exact direction I want to go?
Yeah, so I'll let Ryan answer from his perspective because it's going to be an interesting one. You know, as long as you're hearing me loud and clear when I talk about documenting versus creating, the thing that I'm so worried about in this whole personal brand thing is it gets real ugly real fast because people lie, right? Because you start faking it till you make it and you start fronting. And the reason I'm so happy that I had that meeting with that kid and it caught some wind and gave me clarity around this documenting versus creating, like I was a very different guy in a lot of ways when I was 22, 23 starting Wine Library, but in a lot of ways I was a super similar guy, right, Eric? And so like I couldn't speak to a lot of the accomplishments I had because I hadn't achieved them yet, but fuck man, I had plenty of bravado and it was fun. It would have been fun to be able to call those shots back in the day. It would have been cool to see that meeting that Eric and I had with David Karp at Tumblr, you know, in our office. Like, you know, I guess back, it's funny that what Ryan was saying right before he called, my big thing is the truth, right? Mm-hmm. Like you can build your personal brand, AKA your reputation. You can hack with creating content. I'm just worried that people, when they think personal brand, start calling themselves like the 7-figure expert, or like, I feel like everybody turns into WWF. It has to become a character, not their actual person. So I'm a fan of it because I think it leads to opportunity. I think like it's a living, breathing resume at scale that has huge upside, one piece of content away from changing your life. As long as you're patient and realize nobody gives a fuck for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how interesting you are and what you're producing. And it has a lot of people, I mean, the most of the market is producing stuff that nobody wants to watch. Ryan?
Yeah, so I'll tell a quick story. In the late 1920s, 1930s, Winston Churchill is basically driven from political life in Britain, right? He'd worked his way all the way up to the top, one of the most important people in Britain, and he's driven out from politics. He still holds a small office, but he's driven out. And what does he do? He turns to radio and writing articles. He writes hundreds of articles. He gives international radio broadcasts. He's actually at this time more famous in America than he is in his home country. He writes books. He writes this epic series about the First World War and about the history of the English language and all these things. And he builds a huge platform.
He becomes a media company himself.
Basically, yes. Yeah. And he's publishing in Ladies' Home Journal in the United States and everywhere and anywhere that will take him. And he builds up.
And he reverse engineers the content for the context of the place?
Yes, he becomes a famous person who has a platform. And so he begins to warn about the threat of Nazism and Hitler, which people in the